Nobody here is awake earlier than 8 a.m.
Okay, so we've talked about this a bunch, but basically a lot of Americans, myself included, when we travel, we love talking about our culture shocks. And this also applies to people from other countries when they travel to other countries. They love talking about things that they experienced that was a little bit different than the norm for them, right? But a lot of us Americans, when we do detail our culture shock experiences, we do not realize that some of the culture shocks were self-inflicted because we were not aware or even remotely attentive to basic commonsensical things that would have made our experiences a little bit better. Not all culture shocks are bad and not all culture shocks are good. That's what makes it a culture shock. It's just something that's outside of the norm, things that you aren't used to, that you get exposed to in different environments. And this video was very interesting. I stumbled across an individual. She was basically like highlighting a lot of the culture shocks that she experienced in the Netherlands. And I've seen a few of these before. I actually have a good friend. She's a YouTuber and stuff, and she also does content around Korea and whatnot. You may see her in future videos, and she's from the Netherlands. She's from the Netherlands as well. But this was interesting because some of the culture shocks this individual mentions were a little bit questionable, and the comments definitely had a lot to say about it. And you will too. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. We are aggressively trying to hit 1 million subscribers this year, so please help us out by liking the video and subscribing if you haven't already.
Things I find really strange as an American that's been living in the Netherlands for 3 months. Okay, starting off strong, they all love French fries, which, don't get me wrong, they're good, but they're so incredibly mid, and they have shops just dedicated to French fries when you could just like go to McDonald's and get some or anywhere else. Which leads me into my next thing, McDonald's. They love McDonald's, and I'm not saying that like Americans don't, but they love dining in at McDonald's. Everyone is just sitting in. Like, you can't find a seat if you even wanted one. It's insane. Also, another thing, nobody here is awake earlier than 8 a.m. Like, period. You can barely find a gym that opens at 6 a.m. and on the weekends, good luck. Earliest you're gonna find a 7 a.m. opening. They also just love having bread and just plain cheese, and they call that breakfast. Or bread, butter, and sprinkles for breakfast. So strange.
Well, let's keep it a buck. She made some enemies with that first culture shock.
They all love French fries, which, don't get me wrong, they're good, but they're so incredibly mid.
The French fries being mid in the Netherlands? Oh my God. Listen, I've had French fries in the Netherlands before, and I particularly like the fries out there. That's just me. Also, I think they might be called something different. I could be wrong. You guys let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that was something very interesting. I guess them having fry shops out there in the first place, I don't think we have things like that in the United States at all. It's at least it's not common. That's more of a niche thing if we do have that at all, because typically you'll just find like, you know, fries pair with burgers very well and other things as well. So you'll see it as a side dish in various different, like, you know, chain restaurants in general, things of that nature. She brought something else up that I wanted to ask you guys about.
McDonald's. They love McDonald's. And I'm not saying that like Americans don't, but they love dining in at McDonald's.
Are you guys really obsessed with McDonald's? Like going over there, dining in? The Netherlands is not very big, and I know you guys have a variety of different things, but when I went to the Netherlands, I was only there for a little bit, right? I wasn't there for a while, for a long time at all. It was literally less than a day, so I couldn't tell you accurately what is the norm or not. I'm just a visitor, right? But it didn't seem like it was popping like that. Now, yes, there were a ton of people that ate inside of the McDonald's, but I think that's also applicable to other restaurants as well. And so maybe she got the wrong impression that people in the Netherlands are obsessed with McDonald's. So literally, I'm going to ask you guys, are you guys obsessed with McDonald's? Is that like a guilty pleasure? I mean, and it's okay if it is. I just was curious. Then she goes to say that no one's awake before 8 a.m.
Nobody here is awake earlier than 8 a.m.
From what it sounded like, she goes outside and she doesn't see very many people before 8 a.m. And I think it's because they're going to work. You know what I mean? People work during the week and whatnot. So obviously it's going to look pretty dead in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I guess maybe she's also referring to hanging out with friends. She wasn't really specific when it came to that. So I can only assume. So again, I'm turning this over to you guys. What time do you guys normally wake up to go to work? What time is normal to go to work in general? And are people awake before 8 a.m. in the Netherlands? Netherlands? Is it normal to sleep into 8 and then like get ready and stuff like that and basically show up to work at like 9 or 10 in the morning? Or is it normal to go to work earlier than that? I'm pretty sure we can get down to the bottom of this, because I feel like these were some misunderstandings that evolved into what was a perceived culture shock for her. And then of course she paired that with not being able to find a gym that opens at 6 a.m.
You can barely find a gym that opens at 6 a.m.
But to be fair, that is also very hit or miss in the States. There are tons of places in the States that have 24-hour gyms, and there are other places that gyms that are open during the day, and they're open pretty much from like 9 in the morning to like 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening, you know? But I also do think that the Netherlands has 24-hour gyms. I don't think that's uncommon. The friends that I've had that have gone to the gym in the Netherlands and stuff, they've never complained about the gym not being accessible at any time, right? They're like, I just go whenever I feel like it. So that to me tells me that there is some variant of 24-hour gyms out there in the Netherlands. Again, if I am wrong, correct me, pat me up in the comments. I want to see it. And then of course, the last thing, and we've covered this in a video before, and it's the bread and cheese dealio, brother. The bread and cheese dealio. Listen, in general, throughout all of Europe, the bread and cheese goes crazy. That to me qualifies as a meal. Now you have the same thing in the United States, and because of all of our chemicals and poison and all the things that I say 1,000,003 times in these videos, we consider it a struggle meal in the United States. And our cheese, oh my gosh, we have craft singles, the plastic squares that are wrapped in more plastic. Not great, okay? Not authentic cheese at all. It tastes terrible. So when we think of bread and cheese throughout Europe, we're thinking of like the homemade big old rolls, or even the miniature rolls with like some actual cheese that you have to cut yourself. And you compare those together, that is a meal. That does taste good. You know what I mean? Of course, she wasn't really rocking with it like that. So I guess, okay, but I'm like, oh my gosh. But this is what I'm talking about though. You know what I mean? Like some of the things she mentioned seem like misunderstandings or misrepresentations of what was probably actually happening. And then it transformed into a culture shock for her. I could only imagine what the comments had to say, and we're going to check those out. And, you guys can let me know up to this point if you agree with what I'm saying, if you think that, maybe what she's saying is true. Maybe the fries are made in Netherlands. I liked them a lot, but maybe my taste buds are cooked. Let's talk about America. Oof. Let's not. We already going through a lot of things over here. Okay. Let's relax. How about that? Because we would get packed up. Okay. There's 1,000,005 things you can say about America currently right now. There are tons of things going down the pipeline that, oh my gosh, diabolical. And if we just keep it culture wise and stuff for America, we have a lot of issues as well. In what Netherlands do you live? Yeah, it seems like there's some people that are like, this is not like normal in the Netherlands. So I don't know where you reside. You're going to have to drop the addy, because where do you live to be having culture shocks like this? But they could have been accurate. Again, you guys let me know in the comments down below. From what I saw, I can't really say much because I wasn't there long enough. This would literally be like if you guys traveled to New York City for like, I don't know, 14 hours and then pieced out. You wouldn't have an accurate, depiction of what you saw and what you experienced. You'd have some cool experiences for sure. You would have seen a lot, but only being in New York City for like 14 hours is not enough to say like, hey, like I have a full-fledged formulated opinion of this place. Where in the Netherlands do you live? Because most of these aren't even true. I'm telling you, the comment section was roaring, man. They were roaring. They're like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Again, I don't know where she lives in the Netherlands. Nobody knows where she lives in the Netherlands. It could just be a very individualistic experience that she had that was just not great. What? We have 24/7 gyms and school starts at 8:30 and same for work, etc. What do you mean no one is awake before 8 a.m.? Yeah, it's not like people just wake up at 8 and spawn in school. You know what I mean? They have to get ready for school and for work and things like that. So, I guess I will, again, turn the question over to you guys. What time is a normal time that you guys start work in the Netherlands? If it matches school, that would also make sense. And what time do you wake up in general? Like, what time do you wake up? For me, if I'm working a day shift schedule, I'm crazy, so I wake up at like 4 a.m. But I think that's kind of normal for a lot of Americans working like a day shift schedule if they're trying to get ready like substantially early before the time they have to show up. And depending on how far away they live from work as well. I typically live about an hour away from where I work. So I'm like, okay, I got to wake up, get ready, shower, make breakfast, all those things, and then commute. And the commute itself is also pretty long. So I have to wake up several hours before work starts. And if work starts at 7 for me, then I obviously have to wake up for myself myself to give myself some time to wake up into my day. 3 hours. That's just myself. And if you guys agree with that, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys don't be waking up that early, let me know, because I have other friends. I know tons of people who love waking up at the last minute. They'll wake up 10 minutes before they have to like show up to work, and somehow they get to work on time because maybe their job is across the street. And then, you know, they do skip a lot of things. Like maybe they don't shower, maybe they don't brush their teeth, maybe they don't get something to eat and they're grouchy when they show up to work, but that's just how they live life, on the edge. So let me know if that's something that is relatable to y'all in regards to rushing to get to work. They are not French fries. Het is friet. So I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. So pack my ass up in the comments if I did not pronounce that correctly, which I definitely did not. But yeah, the French fries. Rate the French fries in the Netherlands on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. Okay, on average. Do you guys like the fries out there or not? Okay, because I liked them when I had them. French fries are not mid. Side-eye emoji is diabolical, bro. I've not seen this before ever. That's funny as hell. And like I said, she made a lot of enemies. I do think that when she was listing off of her like list of culture shocks and stuff like that, they were, I don't know. I feel like that was like a misrepresentation probably of what was actually happening. And she wasn't probably able to identify that, but I could also be wrong too. That's just how I interpret it from what I saw and the reaction from the comment section as well. We have patat en friet dame. You'll have to excuse me for literally butchering the pronunciation of these words because I do not speak Dutch. All right. I should probably learn though, because my pronunciation is abysmal. Girl, what do you mean no one is awake before 8 a.m.? I have school at 8. Like I said, I don't understand how people could teleport to school or get to school at all if they weren't awake prior to 8 o'clock. So people were probably like awake at like 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, depending on where they lived and stuff and how far away they were going to go to school and what method of transportation they're going to take there and how long it took for them to like, you know, truly get ready. You know what I mean? Nobody's awake before 8 a.m. And all the other stuff you named, girl, almost everybody's awake before 8 a.m. Yeah, I have no idea what the context of her experience was. Where were you? Okay, because that's why I think we're getting a lot of the where were you in the Netherlands for this to even be a thing? We don't know. We do not know. Maybe somebody watching this video might know where she resided or something, because where in the world is she living in the Netherlands for a culture shock like that to happen? Dutch French fries are so much better than American fries. High key, I have to agree. I will say that Belgium and the Netherlands, I had fries in both, right? And like night and day. American fries can be good depending on where you go, you know what I mean? But if you were to take some fries from the Netherlands, you know, and Belgium, infinitely better in my opinion. But that's just my personal opinion. Maybe you guys think American fries are better. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. Again, I'm butchering this, but I'm pretty sure this person was crying over the fact that she said the fries were mid.
They all love French fries, which, don't get me wrong, they're good, but they're so incredibly mid.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they prefer McDonald's fries to real fries. You haven't met Americans. We proudly wear on our chest that we appreciate McDonald's French fries over actual authentic fries because we're fucking psychopaths. Okay, so for the people that are still around and watching this, I was thinking of recording these videos throughout Korea. You know what I mean? Like I want to go out and stuff and enjoy my food outside and, you know, show you guys where I live and all that other good stuff. Would you guys want to see that?